Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today I've got two battles in the USS Atlanta for you. This is on my personal account, this is my Atlanta. And these two battles, I think I played them back to back, but they really show the difference between a team play, understanding the tactical situation and playing for the win, and a team not doing that and not understanding some very basic things in the game, and subsequently losing. So, I'm not going to tell you which one is which, of course, because that's going to be two battles, but a very brief look around my very own Atlanta. This is not an AA build, because I'm mostly playing in randoms, so you're not guaranteed a carrier. And as such, I've got the main battery reload, and the same on the first module. Other than that, it's a pretty standard setup. I could play her with concealment, but I haven't really touched this build in a very long time, so this might be a worthy thing to change. And I've got Kincaid, who's normally on the Seattle, playing on the Atlanta. It's a good fit, and as such, nothing really special here. Of course, he doesn't have the Mistweaver, but then the Atlanta only gets one smoke screen, so it's not really worth it. Anyway, right then, let's get to it. Two battles and decision making playing a really big part. The first round, we're playing base capture on encounter against Double Anhalt, Bismarck, North Carolina, Zara, and Akatsuki. The Anhalts may or may not be loners, but either way, if you're in an Atlanta, Atlantas don't like getting shot at all. In fact, Atlantas tend to explode catastrophically if someone as much as looks at in their direction. So getting shot at by battleships is something that you generally have to try to avoid. So, which means I am going to head towards that island in front of me. I'm spawning with the friendly Anhalt and the New Orleans. And I am going to keep myself a little hidden for starters, because enemy battleships can make your life very, very short when you're in an Atlanta. So the other thing about this map is that it tends to be a little bit on the it tends to be a little bit on the base trading side. But it looks like the Cuniberti on our team is at least keeping an eye on the other flank. So we'll see what's going to go down there. We've got a Brooklyn going middle and the other two battleships as well. It would probably have been better if one of our battleships goes east. Anyway, I'm spotted, so I'm immediately switching over to the armor piercing, and there's the Akatsuki. Okay, I'm going to go in reverse just in case there are Akatsuki torpedoes out there. Sonar up. But it seems like no torpedoes coming my general direction. And yeah, the torpedoes are aimed probably either at the bot or at the friendly Anhalt, but Akatsuki is now out of torpedoes. There is a North Carolina, however, coming down this side, so we do need to watch out a little bit. And Anhalt, you've seen that Akatsuki, right? I can't really poke out that much because there is a North Carolina. So how about we let the bot finish? We let the bot die, because that's just what bots do. And see if we can maybe set some fires onto North Carolina, and I'll deal with the Akatsuki when he comes around again next time. But Anhalt, what are you doing? There's an Akatsuki right there. Okay. I'm gonna deal with the Akatsuki. The Akatsuki is shooting at you. He's firing his guns. He's sitting full. No, Anhalt does not pay attention at all. That's just the auto secondary. So while I'm going to try my very best to kill that Akatsuki, I'm not going to kill that before he's got his torpedoes reloaded, and that means we're going to have an extremely dead Anhalt. Meanwhile, the eastern flank doesn't look too great. One of our battleships is committing very heavily there, and it looks like the Cuniberti is not doing that great, hiding behind an island. So yeah, we have lost the Anhalt as expected, which means I now have a North Carolina right behind me, and I have an Akatsuki next to me. Now the Akatsuki is dead, but I do need to make sure that I'm pointing my stern towards the North Carolina and not giving him anything to shoot at. So that's the end of that Akatsuki. North Carolina is about to flood out, and we are now 10 points behind. Now this is the moment where I'm throwing the game. Because what I should have done right here is I should have rushed the enemy Cup. Because while there is a battleship, it's kind of committed into fighting the Kansas over here and the Kuniberti as well. But there's still a battleship on the friendly Cup, and we're now a kill ahead. So I am trying to make my way back to the capture circle to support the Atlantico, which has just died, instead of rushing the enemy Cup. Because if I had, we might have base traded. Now, at this time, we would still be behind. But there's now a Kuniberti and the Kansas, which are both focusing on that enemy Bismarck. So I could have gotten past the Bismarck without too much trouble, sailing around the long way, making it into the capture circle. Well, we would still be below on points, and if the enemy team was counter-cupping, that we would be trading. But there's a fair chance that the three of us could just take out that Bismarck who's guarding the enemy capture circle. Instead, I'm heading back to defend, because that's where I committed when the Atlantico was still alive, only for it to die a second later. And at this point, it's already too late, because the Kuniberti could have made it, because this is a very fast ship. So if he had ignored the Bismarck and rushed the Cup, we would have won as well, because I think Kansas and me, with almost 3 minutes to go, could have killed the Bismarck. But now the enemy Anhalt has made it into the friendly capture circle. There's absolutely no way for me to stop these two guys, to stop these two guys from cupping, because I'm in an Atlanta and there's a full health Anhalt over there who literally has nothing better to do, and the friendly team's never going to make it to the capture circle in time. So yeah, we would have had to either defend or if either the Kuniberti or me would have gone for the capture circle. Now the Kuniberti goes for the capture circle. The problem is, at this point, they're almost halfway through the Cup. So now the team's calling out, go for the capture circle. The problem is, we are ahead on points, but we're going to lose to cupping because because we're too late. The Kuniberti would have had to be in the capture circle about a minute earlier, or me like a minute and a half earlier, when I made the decision initially to try and support the Atlantico in defending, rather than aggressively going through the flank after the North Carolina had died. So yeah, not gonna happen. And a team calls out, capture the enemy base, and said, look guys, it's not happening. You're too late. And to be completely honest, so am I. So it's these sort of split-second decisions that can make or break a game. If either me or the Kuniberti had gone for the capture circle early, we would have won this. But we didn't. So you know, there's nothing to be salty about. It's more really like a learning exercise where you need to communicate more efficiently. And I could have probably also called out much earlier to go for the Cup. So let's do a second game. In the second game, we are playing Epicenter on Frozen Shelter against Colorado, Prinz Eitel Friedrich, Helena, Zara, Nürnberg, a Mahan, and a Jervis. Now, if you look at our team, double West Virginia, double Atlanta, we definitely have the firepower here. I mean, the Prinz Eitel Friedrich is not a bad ship, but that's a lot of firepower. Anyway, Frozen Shelter. In Epicenter mode, I do want to get myself into a position from where I can support the friendly destroyers. So let's, because if our destroyers are rushing the center cup, then I want to be somewhere where I can get fire onto anything that they're spotting and potentially help removing threats. So I am going to stick behind that island right in front of me. I've got the Pensacola on the left flank, and look at that. Both destroyers are going for the center cup. Well, isn't that excellent? It's a pleasure to see that happening in what is effectively a tier 7 round with some tier 6s interspersed, that destroyer players are actually going for the objective. Not every day that you see that. So the Bliska on our side is rushing for the cup, as well as the other destroyer. And I'm now in a position that if they spot anything, I should have range just at the edge there. I think does Skåne get radar or not yet? I'm not sure. I think she doesn't get radar just yet, but no idea. A bigger problem is the Helena over there in the enemy team, wherever he's going to end up. because he's a huge danger to our destroyers, and same with the Italian cruiser. There's the Helena. So yeah, he's exactly in the right position. So first order of business, distract that Helena. And there's the Zara as well. So these guys need to be absolutely not taking care of our destroyers. The Helena, the Zara is moving off to deal with the Pensacola, and the Pensacola is going to be dead in a second here. But see if I can distract the Helena for now. And the destroyers as well have noticed the threat and have started pushing some torpedoes out to just area denial the whole thing. So we're holding the central capture circle. Helena set on fire, and I've been taking a couple of shots, but nothing major. Just lost one of my gun turrets. That's fine. The Atlanta's got plenty of those. And Helena is not coming out, so it's not a threat to our destroyers. And I have no idea where the enemy destroyers are. We haven't seen them the whole game. So, okay, in that case, I'll move out a little bit more, keep the island between myself and the battleships, get back into range of the Helena, and shoot at him again. Worst case, I've got a smoke screen. So, while I'm... yeah, the Pensacola is dead, but the Pensacola actually has managed to draw off the Zara, which was a major threat to the ships in the middle. We've now got an Atlanta in here as well, and I'm starting to attract a little bit of attention. So I'm gonna have to move away from here for now, because that Helena is starting to fire armor piercing at me. There's a Colorado coming around, and there's also a Prinz Eitel Friedrich. But the Helena doesn't want to come after me, so that's much appreciated. And now the team communicates a threat on the other flank. Look at that. And there it is. There's the Jervis. The West Virginia is moving away from the Jervis instead of trying to engage it, which is great. Friendly destroyers have reacted, and I'm going in for a close encounter now and going to finish off the Jervis at point blank range before he can get his torpedoes away. He's obviously trying to go for the rush, which is a good thing, but he's never going to kill a full health West Virginia, and now he's being shot at by two Atlantas and a Scorner, and now to add insult to injury is getting torpedoed by an Atlanta. So that's that thing done for, which means we've got the other flank secured. West Virginias are safe, and team communication for the win, because I didn't pay attention. I didn't see the destroyer when it popped up on the map very briefly. But the team's been calling the targets. Now the West Virginia to my right seems like he's coming under a lot of fire. I'm not sure if the Colorado is shooting at him, but he's definitely coming under fire from the Helena. And there's still, I think, the Prinz Eitel Friedrich further back, which is at that range probably not a huge threat. But there's also the Zara on this side, so I'm setting the Helena on fire again because payback. But I figure I don't really need my smoke screen at this point. Yeah, the West Virginia is being shot at by multiple ships, so I'm gonna give him a smoke screen here. Just quickly stop in front of him to slow him down, because colliding with the ship gets you down to half speed instantly. So he can stay within the smoke screen. I mean, I can use my own smoke screen as well, but it looks like the other West Virginia is going for a suicide run against Colorado and Helena, and also with the Zara around there. Zara is behind the island, so he might be poking out and dropping torpedoes, and in a second there he comes. A little late, but we'll drop some torpedoes in his direction. There comes the other Atlanta, smokes us up again. Isn't it beautiful? And all the time we've completely held, even though we're equal on kills, we've completely held the capture, the control areas. And yeah, Zara is now was on a very singular effort. I'm just going to start the Hydro just in case there is any kind of torpedoes from the Zara, but it seems like he hasn't even dropped the torpedoes. So we're keeping these guys bottled up. The Prinz Eitel Friedrich, I think, has no effect. Didn't really have an effect on the battle, and we're just finishing off the Helena now. There she goes. And I think one of their destroyers was AFK, so they didn't really have a great start to begin with. But most of the enemy team has been sailing around the capture circles rather than through them, has been involved in individual actions. The cruisers have gotten themselves distracted instead of dealing with our destroyers, which they were perfectly positioned to do. And our team's been effectively communicating the threat from the Jervis from the other flank. And in the end, that's how you prevail. And so effective communication paying attention to positioning, paying attention to your teammates around you, not just the closest enemy ship that you can shoot at, and that's how you win. That's how you win battles, or lose them if you're not paying attention. And again, nobody's to blame. It's always the best outcome is always that everybody learns something from these kind of exercises. Anyway, I just found these 2 rounds of Atlanta that I played back to back quite fascinating in that particular theme. And that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.